Hello everybody, it is Nicole from iiKiui and welcome to another tips video on how to use washi tape in your art. So the things that you will need are a pair of scissors, an Xacto knife, some washi tape, and your drawing. So let's get right into it. So the first way that you can use washi tape in your art is background shapes. So here we have a drawing that I've done already, and I did this just to show you guys how to incorporate it into finished pieces. Usually you want to add this in the finished area because then you know exactly what lines to follow. So this is one of my characters, and yes, he is a guy. I will draw more guys in the future, but let's go back into the washi tape. So one way you can do this, and this is a rectangle shape, is to use patterned washi tape that is seamless. And I thought that this one was seamless, but it is not. There is a little bit of ombre in here that I didn't know until later. But what you want to do is line up the pattern, whether it's horizontal or vertical, and match it up. So you'll see me matching up where the zigzags are, and if I had known better, I would have matched up the ombre as well, but then you don't want to waste that much washi tape unless you don't care. But I didn't want to waste it, so I just did it however it would fit. And then you use your Xacto knife, and first I cut around the edges just so that I knew where the rectangle was, and then you want to cut around your character and make sure that you get the exterior line. This can be a little bit tricky since some shapes may be a little bit more complicated, which is why I kind of stick to easier shapes to do. That way I don't have to worry about doing fine details with an Xacto knife. And remember to always be careful when handling an Xacto knife or any kind of sharp object, just to be safe. So washi tape is usually see-through, so it's relatively easy to see where the lines are, so you know where to cut. For a future one you'll see ahead, it is a little bit more difficult because the pattern has some black parts on it, and since my lines are black, it's a little bit difficult to see. So if you want to avoid that, then just choose patterns that aren't so dark. When applying your washi tape, I would suggest that you don't press down too hard because I did this and I ended up ripping the paper when I took the tape off. And when cutting, don't press down too hard, just enough to cut the washi tape because you don't want to cut out the entire page. And you can kind of feel when the knife goes through the washi tape and not the page, and that's kind of the pressure that you want to be using. So once I finish with this one, you can see that the tape kind of ripped off some of the black outline, the thick black outline that I used for this character. And so what I did at the end was I just went over the empty spaces and the white spaces with the black pen again, and it fixed it right up. So this next drawing that I did is in watercolor, and it's on watercolor paper, and it's also going to be a background example, but a different kind. So first I used a circle shape instead, which was a little bit more difficult to use because I'm not very good at an Xacto knife, and so it's not a perfect circle. And then the tape that I use is not a seamless pattern tape, it is one that is about Japan. So like I'm showing, it doesn't have to be a seamless pattern for it to look cool. I used this one before on a drawing I did a long time ago on a dress, and it looked pretty cool even though it didn't match up. But you can see the effect that it gives, and for this drawing I decided to go for just a girl leaping into a circle. And I tried to keep the shapes relatively simple, at least the silhouette, so you didn't have to cut out any more difficult shapes. The most difficult part was the hair because there were smaller pieces that I had to cut out. The next way that you can use washi tape in your art is something that I just call simple shapes, and this is kind of self-explanatory, but you'll see it's really simple. I'm going to be making a cake out of washi tape, and it's really easy. Just take rectangles and stack them up, and you're done. However, you don't have to stick to something this simple. You can add little shapes in the washi tape by just cutting it out with your scissors. And the last way that I'm going to show you guys today is to add washi tape into the fashion of your characters. So here we have a drawing of a girl and she has a plain white dress, and I'm going to be adding this washi tape to the dress. For this drawing specifically, I thought this washi tape was a seamless pattern, but turns out that it is not, which I found out later on, that there is some ombre pink in it. So I think this probably works best with a seamless pattern, which I thought this was, but it wasn't. So you can kind of see where the lines are, but like I said, seamless works better to represent fabric. So if you want to do this, I would suggest looking for a seamless pattern first. However, I will say that patterns also work, but they just won't follow the flow of fabric. So you can see that since this one is not seamless, you can see the lines that it creates, and it doesn't follow the flow of the dress that I wanted it to. However, if you are okay with this and don't really care, then this is a good way to also incorporate it into your art. This does require a little bit more Xacto knife precision, just because you are following the shapes of the clothes instead of just a rectangle or cutting up washi tape. And then at the end, I go over the washi tape again in a black pen, but make sure to let it dry since washi tape and pen kind of don't stick together. So if you touch it, it will smudge and smear. So I set it aside for a while and I let it dry. Then after that's done, then you have a completed fashion piece, and that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to add washi tape into your art. I had a fun time making it, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching me struggle with washi tape. Anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. Keep drawing, keep painting, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!